I got home late Sunday. It's a 1,400-mile drive. This was good. I really didn't want to see or talk to her. I was tired, went to my chair and slept. I haven't slept well in 2 months. I've lost 15 pounds. I look and feel like crap, but it was the first 8 hours I had gotten in a while. Monday, my wife tried to initiate some intimacy. I just cannot get it up for this woman. My Johnson is up bright and early before me every morning. So this is nothing physical with me. It's just that for once, my dick is in total agreement with my mind and heart. This upset her, and we got into a pretty heated argument. I told her maybe it was something wrong with me. I'm 50 years old. This stuff happens. She started insinuating again that I'm cheating on her. She said that I'm not being a good husband. I haven't screwed her in over 2 months. I even told her I loved her in over 2 months. Clearly, I'm doing something behind her back. I mean, she tried to gaslight the crap out of me. Yeah, I was doing something behind her back. I was piecing everything together. D-Day for me was September 25th. I work in collision repair specifically. I work on the vehicles that are considered train wrecks. September 25th. I wound up cutting my leg open on a truck I was working on. That was a trip to the emergency room. I got 5 stitches inside my leg and 34 stitches on the outside. It was pretty bad. I got put on some hefty painkillers and there was no way I was going to drive. So I called my wife. No answer. Called 5 minutes later. No answer. Called again. No answer. Texted her. Babe, pick up. I need you. Call me. Called her again. No answer. More texts. Nothing. About an hour and a half of this. So I got an Uber to take me home. We turn onto my street, come in view of my house, and she is standing in our doorway, completely sucking face with the GM of where she works. I told the driver to stop. This wasn't a pet, folks. There were swap and spit. She was supposed to be at work. I pulled out my phone, took a couple of pictures, and told the driver to keep driving. I had her take me back to work. I sat there in the break room for 4 hours, head down on the table, numb, freaking heartbroken. When the painkillers were off, I drove home in pain from my leg and from everything going through my head. She wasn't home when I got there. She came home a couple of hours later. She acted all concerned. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. I don't know. I asked her how her day was, and she made up some BS about work that day. I know it was BS. A week later, I learned for the first time that she hasn't worked a Friday in 3 years. I never really used Reddit much. It was always there, but I had no real interest in it till then. I was looking for crap on dealing with cheaters and this sub showed up along with YouTube videos. So I read stuff here. Just trying to figure out what the hell I should be doing right now. I was reading about all the red flags and just saying, yup, well, that fits. Or to a D. Always on the phone. Always texting for some freaking reason. Can't answer my calls or texts. She had no idea until last Monday that I had sat in the emergency room trying to call her, texting her in 2 whole freaking months. She had not looked at her chat log at all. She was yelling at me that I needed to be a better husband, that I'm not doing enough for her. I got so freaking pissed. I grabbed my phone, opened the dialogue and shoved in her face, showed her those unanswered texts. I rarely raised my voice, but I yelled at her that the one time I needed her to be there for me, I got ghosted. She pulled out her phone and looked. Then she left the house for a couple hours. When she came back, she apologized and then lied right to my freaking face. She had a hard day at work that day. Didn't notice because she was so busy. The truth is, she didn't know about the calls and texts because she were too busy screwing her boss in the house to answer her phone. In the time between that day and now, I've snooped her phone, her laptop, her iPad, learned I could look at all her crap from one of her old phones. I've installed cameras in the house. I've been watching her cheat on me in real time for 2 months. Let me tell you something. I've always thought Apple products are for idiots. They really are. Cheaters should probably start using Android or something because Apple syncs across everything. I've learned she doesn't just dislike my son. She freaking hates that kid. Probably because him being at my house in the summer was cramping her style. I've learned this affair has been going on for years. I've learned it's not just her boss. One of the men she has been screwing has been someone I have worked with and considered a friend for over 14 years. She worked with his wife. His wife has been helping her hide the affair with her boss. They frickin' introduced me to her. They watched me propose to her. They were at the wedding. They let me marry this woman knowing she was cheating on me. I know of 4 men. 2, I know. 2, I don't know. They've screwed in my bed, on my couch, on my kitchen table where I eat in my shower. These holes have used my frickin' soap to wash their freaking balls. I went up to my property where I hunt deer to get away for one weekend. I invited her. I always ask her to come whenever I go anywhere. She always declines. When I got back, I just watched this parade of men go through my house and screw my wife. She didn't even shower and clean herself off between 2 of them. What a freaking pig. Yo. There's a camera in the bathroom too. Same thing when I went to Chicago for Thanksgiving. She spent the whole weekend screwing other men in my home and my bed for 2 months. I have kept this to myself until I told my ex-girlfriend. What is going on? I'm wearing this coal mask, but I'm inches from Hulk smash mode. I almost confronted her about her cheating, but I just ate the lie. She told me. I frickin' apologized for the argument. I told her I would make an appointment with a doctor for my erectile dysfunction, and then I read her text to her boss, calling me a limp dick, and she can't wait for Friday. This is not the woman I fell in love with 7 years ago. I'd like to say she's pure evil, but I'm thinking she's got severe mental health problems. Certainly she's a sociopath. Whatever. I did not sign up for this. It was very hard for me to ask her to marry me since my first divorce. I had a hard time believing that anything nice a woman said to me was what she really meant. I've chased off 2 fantastic women in my life because I was still screwed up in the head for my first wife. More so what I went through after the divorce than she didn't really love me. I got raped in my first divorce. I walked away from it with $43 in my pocket. No home, no car, no means to do my job, no support for my family, and had to couch her for the next 3 years because everything I made went to alimony and paying off our debt. 22 years old and my life was screwed before it really even started. I spent my 24th birthday on my friend's couch, drunk with a gun in my mouth, bawling like a baby because I didn't have the stones to do it. I saw no light at the end of the tunnel. Well, since that day, I have kept for $3 in my wallet to remind me of the lowest I have ever been. I'm not saying that's where I am now, but I feel like I did after that. Yeah, I'm wiser and covered my butt this time. But, you know, the first time I caught them in the act had to do it the old-fashioned way, come home early from a trip. But it was over. The extent of the gaslighting was her saying, "It's not what it seems," and then screaming at me to stop as I beat the crap out of my brother and his friend. Don't do this. This hurt me in the divorce big time, but it was over. There was no BS. Nothing could be denied. All the therapy I've gone through, it's all gone this time around. It's this slow process of deceit, holding everything in, just getting lied to all the time. Even when she doesn't need to lie, she lies. I feel that every time I blink, she screws some other guy. I no longer love this woman. Let's be clear, there will be no working this out. I've checked out my anniversary as a day that will live in infamy. Pearl Harbor Day. I'm going to make sure she remembers it, but the seconds seem like hours. I'm worn out. I have a constant headache. All the therapy I had gone through is all gone. I plan to drop the bomb on everyone involved. This is my plan. I imagine boss wife will probably go there and make a scene after my wife is served. As for my friend's wife, well, she works with my wife. They've been friends for 8 years. I have been friends with her for 14 years. She knows about my wife's cheating. I want to have a conversation with her about friendship and loyalty before I drop the bomb. She's going to be the only one of our mutual friends I will talk to, as I expect some of them are going to try to mediate in some way. And I don't feel like letting the witch use a middleman. That is what my lawyer's for. After that, I will be no contact with the witch and all the mutuals. I will talk to her folks when the dust settles a little bit. They're good people. I think I will owe them that. Update, it's done. Served her yesterday. I had her served yesterday. For those asking, I wasn't in a good state of mind to write about it yesterday. Still not really, but I will get it off my chest. I woke up and left the house, got myself some breakfast while waiting for her to leave for work. Rented a truck, went back home and changed the locks. My friend and her husband came over. He brought a friend and we packed up her things. We loaded up our bedroom furniture that I got her as a wedding gift. My couch, my dining table, just all the furniture she defiled, took it to storage, put all her clothes in garbage bags, was going to throw her dirty clothes in with the clean for my friend wouldn't let me. We got done after 11 a.m. At around lunchtime, I bought flowers and chocolates and went to her work. I went and gave her the flowers and candy, gave her a big hug and a kiss. She was all smiles and blushes. Her coworkers were doing all that so sweet thing. I told her that I would love to take her to lunch, but I had to go get a checkup on my leg. But do not make plans for the night because I wanted to give her a night she would remember. I gave her a goodbye kiss, started walking out. At this point, I'm going to start calling her GM freaking Tom or Lefty. As I was leaving, I saw her boss and gave her a big smile and said, "Hey, freaking Tom, how are you?" Gave him a wave and left. Then I went and got some lunch at 2 p.m. A deputy would be walking into my wife's work to serve her at 2 p.m. I was staying in front of freaking Tom's house. I texted him the picture I took on the day I caught them. I took a selfie in front of his house and sent that too. I knocked on the door and Mrs. freaking Tom answered. She knows me a little bit from parties and things. My wife's work had. I told her that my wife and her husband were having an affair. She didn't believe me. I showed you that first picture I took, and I showed her a selfie they took while my wife was giving him a BJ on the couch, and she freaking slapped me. I just stood there and she started crying. I gave her a thumb drive with everything pertaining to my wife and her husband that I had. I told her my wife was cheating on me with multiple men. Get checked for CDs. I gave her my liar's card and my number. Then she asked why I was doing this to her. And to be honest, why did I do that? I hurt her pretty bad. I feel like the biggest piece of crap for doing that.